The night had already felt strange the moment Harper Dawson stepped out of the taxi and saw the chandelier lights of the Grand Meridian Hotel shimmer like tiny galaxies above her. She wasn't supposed to be here. She wasn't supposed to feel her heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. She had come expecting a quiet charity dinner, a simple fundraiser for a local mentorship program she admired, but everything around her felt too elegant, too deliberate, too impossibly perfect. She clutched the strap of her purse, exhaled slowly, and walked inside, unaware that in less than an hour, her entire life would shift in a way she never imagined. Starting with a whisper that froze her in place. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected ways life brings people together, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything. Harper moved through the ballroom in cautious steps. Crystal glasses clinked softly. The air smelled of jasmine and warm bread. Everyone seemed dressed for something much grander than the charity gatherings she usually attended. She was used to simple church hall fundraisers, volunteer centers, community dinners, never anything this polished. She adjusted her simple navy dress, suddenly conscious of how plain she looked next to women shimmering in gold and silver gowns. She kept reminding herself why she was here, to support a cause she believed in, and also because the invitation had felt oddly personal, even though it had arrived anonymously. She assumed it was from the organization, maybe a donor wanting to appreciate her volunteer work. She didn't question it too deeply. She didn't question anything these days. After losing her job in Seattle 6 months earlier and moving to Denver to stay with her cousin, Harper's confidence had crumbled in ways she never admitted out loud. She had gone from being a top-performing project coordinator to standing in grocery aisles calculating which items she could afford to skip. Some days she felt invisible. Other days she felt like she was barely holding herself together. Volunteering at the mentorship center was the only thing that helped her feel useful, like she mattered. So when she received an elegant, embossed envelope inviting her to a special appreciation dinner, she had let herself believe, just for a moment, that maybe someone out there saw her effort, that maybe she wasn't as small or forgotten as she felt. But as she scanned the ballroom, she realized something unsettling. She didn't recognize anyone. Not the guests, not the sponsors, not even the charity logos. Her stomach tightened, but before she could turn toward the exit, someone gently touched her elbow. She spun around and found herself staring up at a man who looked like he belonged on the cover of a business magazine. Tall, composed, dressed in a charcoal suit that likely cost more than her monthly rent. His eyes were warm, steady, and unexpectedly gentle. She knew that face. Everyone in Denver did. Rowan Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Enterprises, youngest tech executive to make Forbes' list 3 years in a row, billionaire, philanthropist, a man whose world was galaxies away from hers. She swallowed hard, convinced she had wandered into the wrong event, but Rowan leaned in slightly, his voice low enough that only she could hear him, and whispered words that sent a slow, trembling shock through her entire body. "This isn't a charity dinner, Harper. This is actually our blind date." For a moment, she forgot how to breathe. She stared at him, blinking, certain she had misheard. Blind date? Her? With him? She almost laughed, except her throat was too tight and her brain felt like it had glitched. He guided her gently toward a quieter corner, explaining that he had arranged the evening after hearing about her through someone at the mentorship program, that he admired her compassion, her resilience, her quiet strength, that he had wanted their first meeting to feel special, that he had hoped tonight would be a surprise she'd remember. But all Harper could think was, why me? She wasn't glamorous. She wasn't wealthy. She wasn't even sure she was emotionally whole anymore. Rowan seemed to sense her panic. He spoke softly, telling her there was no pressure, no expectation, nothing she had to prove. He just wanted to get to know her. And for a while, Harper let herself sink into the warmth of the evening. They talked about small things first. The weather, the food, the ridiculousness of hotel parking fees, and then deeper things. Her love for helping kids who felt lost, his loneliness despite his success, the quiet war each of them fought privately just to show up every day. But Harper couldn't escape the growing ache in her chest. She didn't belong here. Not in this world, not beside a man like him, not in a ballroom where she felt like an imposter wearing borrowed confidence. The more Rowan opened up, the more she pulled inward, terrified of disappointing him, terrified of being seen too clearly. And when he asked, almost shyly, if she'd like to walk with him after dinner, she hesitated too long. Fear wrapped its cold fingers around her voice, making her answer small, uncertain. His expression faltered, and the flicker of hurt she saw twisted inside her. She excused herself to the restroom, gripping the counter as tears slipped down her cheeks. Why was she like this? Why couldn't she accept kindness without questioning it? Why did she always assume she was undeserving? When she finally stepped back into the ballroom, Rowan was waiting near the exit, not angry, not impatient, just hopeful. And something inside her cracked. She walked toward him, hands trembling, heart hammering, and for the first time in a long time, she let honesty spill from her, that she felt out of place, scared, overwhelmed, unworthy, that she wasn't sure what he saw in her, that she had lost so much lately she wasn't sure she knew how to accept something good. Rowan listened without interrupting. Then he reached out, gently taking both of her hands, grounding her. He told her she didn't need to impress him, she didn't need to be perfect, she just needed to be real, and that was the version of her he had wanted from the start. They left the hotel together, walking slowly under the cool Denver night sky. For the first time in months, Harper let the silence settle without fear. Rowan talked about things that weren't wrapped in status or money, simple stories, childhood memories, quiet dreams. Harper found herself laughing, easing into the night one breath at a time. She realized something profound. Sometimes life doesn't hand us miracles wrapped in clarity or certainty. Sometimes it hands us gentle beginnings disguised as impossible moments. By the time Rowan walked her to her car, Harper felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Not the loud, glittering kind, the soft kind that fits in your pocket like a warm stone, steady and real. If this story has touched your heart, please like the video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a little hope today. Before you go, leave a comment telling us whether you believe unexpected moments can change a life forever. And sometimes, Harper would later realize, all it takes is one whispered truth to rewrite a broken chapter into a beautiful beginning.